Welcome. Come with me. The doctors will see you now.
Welcome to another episode of Fast Talks with Family Docs. I'm Dr. Phil Palmer.
And I'm Dr. Veer Vidala. Today is a very special episode for me because we're really excited to sit down with someone who's had a big influence on my own journey in medicine, Dr. Chris Klouzek. Dr. Klouzek was one of my faculty during residency at Wesley Family Medicine in Wichita, Kansas. And now he's here at OU, being faculty at the Family Medicine residency here. And he brings with him that same old spirit of curiosity, adventure, and hands-on passion for life. Not only is he a dedicated family physician, he's an assistant professor and faculty to our residents at OU, but he also has a deep and unique interest in wilderness medicine, caring for patients in some of the most challenging environments nature has to offer. We here on Fast Talks with Family Docs not only love to talk about our family physicians and their practices, but we like to see what cool things that our Oklahoma family docs are doing outside of the clinic and the hospitals, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today with our chat with Dr. Klouzek, diving into what wilderness medicine really is, his trips to Alaska he used to tell us about, and even his love for building cars. So, Dr. Klouzek, thank you again for joining us today. Really excited to have you.
Great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I'm curious, what brings you from Kansas to Oklahoma?
Actually, it was the wilderness medicine piece. And
Really?
I know a lot of people don't really think of wilderness medicine and Oklahoma combining together, but I've been trying to put together a program that a residency can do in family med, which there really aren't many. And the group here wanted to combine something with their existing sports med program, and it seemed like a good fit.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's great. Now, let me take a step before you tell us about wilderness medicine. For those who may not be familiar with what wilderness medicine is or how it's defined, can you explain that area of concentration to us a bit, as well as tell us what attracted you to have a focus in it?
Yeah, absolutely. Wilderness med is kind of a conglomeration of a bunch of different specialties, a bunch of different people. So I think that's part of what I love about it so much. It's when you have an interest in the outdoors and you have an interest in some type of healthcare, and you just mash the two together, and this is what you get. So like you get people of all different specialties. You get EMS, you get firefighters, you get military. Go to one of their national meetings, and you'll find that the interest is really broad.
Yeah, and I think ER's played a big role in the founding of it in the early days, at least.
It has, yeah. In fact, all the existing fellowships that are connected to residency programs right now, as far as I know, are through ER.
Oh,
so that's what I'm trying to do, see if we can spread it out a little bit.
Fantastic. So how did you learn about it? What attracted you to it when you first began your involvement?
Sure. So I've always been an outdoors kind of person, kind of got there through Jeeps, and I know Dr. Vidala wants to chat about that a little bit, but just spending time outdoors and realizing that things happen out there, and you don't really have a lot of equipment with you all the time, and you have to kind of work with what you have. And when I got into medicine, same kind of deal. I did a couple rotations in some little tiny towns and realized same thought process, that you work with what you have and find your way into the care you need with the equipment that's available. So I went looking around to see if there was anything, and sure enough, wilderness medicine existed, and I was hooked ever since.
Excellent. So did you, have you done formal courses to equip yourself better, or has this just been something more that you've read? I know there's a lot of books and things on wilderness medicine and remote care.
Right. For me, kind of a combination of the two, and I'm actually still working on that process now. Definitely read some books on it, some standard survival. I did some first responder training, and then went in and did some wilderness medicine texts, and I've been to several of the national conferences through the two different major national groups. Actually going to be going to one of their desert experiences in May, so that should be fun. It's right back where I grew up, so kind of nice to be back out there again.
Where's that at?
Where's that desert experience?
It's over in Utah.
Okay.
I grew up in western Colorado, so spent a lot of time in the deserts around Moab and other Utah areas. Yeah. But then I've done some coursework, kind of some additional CME type courses that were tied to some of these conferences. And I'm currently working through a national fellowship myself to try to become a certified fellow, figuring it'll help add to the credentials as I'm trying to build my own program.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That is so cool. And to have this opportunity right here in Oklahoma it's crazy. That's amazing, sir. Well, I've had the privilege of being one of your residents and so many stories to tell. But whenever we found ourselves in trouble, especially in one of our residency trips, you were always the first person to go chase us down. One particular story comes to mind when we were all I think we were in Colorado, actually. I think we were where were we at? What was the...
Estes Park.
Estes Park, yeah. Estes Park. One of our old residents, Dr. Jimmy Stewart, or Dr. Shark, as we used to call him, got lost. And the first person to go track him down was Dr. Klouzek. So I bet there's so many stories like that, sir, that you have. Crazy experiences. Can you think of one that sticks out for you? That you had to utilize your wilderness medicine skills?
Oh, let's see. Well, to be honest with you, a lot of the stuff I've done in the backcountry has been pretty tame. I haven't had a lot of those falling off a mountain kind of scenarios. And I think part of it comes down to preparation ahead of time. But that said, there was one of my first trips up to Alaska. I flew in, I rented a pickup truck because I had never been there before, just wanted to drive around, see some of the country. And ended up, was trying to pull off the side of the road to take a picture, and the snow went flat and the ground did not. And didn't roll the truck, but slid down off the road. And when I went to try to pull back up onto the road, couldn't make it. It was honestly not that far outside of civilization. I think I was only a few hours drive away from the nearest town. But nobody came by, and I thought, okay, this was before smartphones, so wasn't really any way to get a lot of help. I didn't know anybody up there. So I thought, all right, now I got to figure this out myself. And every time I kept trying to pull back onto the road, the truck kept getting stuck. So I looked around me and I decided I can do this. And I spent the next 5 hours building a ramp out of packed snow and woven reeds and weeds and other things. And got back up on the road and continued my trip. So
oh my God.
I loved it. That was great. I was hooked. So
that's serious MacGyver right there.
That's what we call a classic Klouzek story. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So how many times have you had the opportunity to go to Alaska? That's someplace I've always wanted to visit. What has your experience been with that great state?
I think probably 6 or 7 now, various lengths and various locations. Took a trip up to the Arctic Ocean just a couple of years ago and did the polar bear plunge for the first time. That was fun. But yeah, I haven't gone as deep into the wilderness up there as I'd like to. And I think part of it comes down to people keep expecting me to come back and work. So you can't get lost in the woods too far if that's the case. But yeah, it's gorgeous. It really is.
What is a polar bear plunge?
Jumping into freezing water and not dying in the process.
Oh, okay. It doesn't involve polar bears.
No. Hopefully not. I suppose there are some places in the world you could actually do it near a polar bear, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, no.
That would be more of a polar bear run.
Yeah,
right?
But I wouldn't recommend that either if the polar bears.
Agreed. Yeah.
Probably played it, yeah. Well, as you take trips, you made the comment earlier that you felt a lot of the benefit was related to preparation. Mm-hmm. So how do you prepare from a medical perspective if you know you're going to a remote area or if you're going with people to a remote area and you might be called on to deliver care?
Sure, absolutely. So I always look at the area I'm headed to ahead of time and try to decide, are there any particular requirements for that area? Is it up in altitude? Is it near the coast? Is it international? Is it in a jungle someplace? Are there any specific issues with that location, like any particular illnesses that are specific in the area, malaria, for instance? Mm-hmm. Make sure that all the right medications are being taken, all the appropriate vaccines are done ahead of time. But the other piece for me, since most of my travel's been in North America, I look at the group that I'm going with. Try to decide what medical conditions am I working with? Are there any that I need to take into consideration? Like heart failure and altitude don't always mix well. Yeah. So there too, you have to decide what the understanding and strengths of your group might be. If you're going with a whole bunch of people who are already trained, it goes really well. Everybody brings their own equipment. They know what's going on. You go with a bunch of people who have never been to the mountains before, and it's a different situation. So I tend to find myself carrying a lot of extra gear and trying to anticipate things that might happen before they happen. I like telling people my backup plans have backup plans, just because you never know when you get a group out in the woods how things are going to change.
Do you normally go in a group on your trips, or?
Most of my trips, no.
Okay.
I'm usually going out solo, and I'm breaking the first rule by doing it because I also tend not to tell people where I'm headed. So it's not a good way to handle it, but these days communication is better for distant and remote travel, so you can find ways to get a hold of people if you need to.
Yeah, and a great way to get a group activity is through some of these CMEs. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic, sir. Wow. Okay. I think, folks, maybe we should take a break now.
Yeah.
And join us for our next episode. We're going to be sitting down with Dr. Klouzek again and exploring more about Alaska. And then we'll talk about him and his hobby of building cars.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. The doctors would like to see you back for another check-in. Please choose to follow our podcast, and you will automatically be notified when it's time for your next appointment.